Hello parents, this is Pastor Danny with a parenting tip video for you for August. And this is probably one that is not going to be very popular with your kids, but that's okay because parenting is not a popularity contest. Today we're going to talk about knowing your kids' friends. Knowing who they are, knowing who your kids are hanging out with, who they're spending the most amount of time with, both in person, on social media, all of those things. And this is a risky venture for parents because we live in a culture now where we're really telling kids to value privacy, but I've always said as a dad, it's not my job to be their friend, it's my job to be their father. And so as such, there's going to be some things that can sometimes get uncomfortable when we are getting to know things like our kids' friends. Because I've said this as a coach, I've said this as a parent, a number of times, I've said this as a pastor, show me your friends, I'll show you your future. And that's a very broad brush to paint with, but it instills the idea in kids that who you spend your time with can have an impact on who you're going to be as a man or a woman, especially man or woman of God in the future. So a couple of tips that I'll give you that have worked for me, and I've used telling other parents, ways that you can get to know your kids' friends. Number one of the most important things is to communicate with other parents. Communicate with the parents of your kids' friends. Be in community with other parents who are associated with your kids. We're going to give you some opportunities to do that this year in our student ministries with a parent open house and a variety of parent discussion groups that I'm going to be leading throughout the year. And this can be a little scary because different parenting styles, different approaches to parenting, but it's worth the risk because it shows that parents are willing to work together in community for the value of our kids, and it also opens some lines of communications for things we may see happening in our kids' lives that we want to try to get ahead of. So number one is know the other parents in your community who your kids are hanging out with. Number two is always ask the three W questions. We're always going to ask where, when, and who. Where are you going? When are you going to be there and coming back? And who are you going with? They're your kids. There's nothing off limits for you as a parent. And if you're not comfortable with the answer to those three questions, then you have a right to say no. But as you build relationships with your kids over the years and as they change, as they become teenagers, that's going to build a level of respect between the both of you, so that you can know where they're going to be, and they can feel like they've got some freedom when you allow them the ability to go and do those things where, when, and with who. The third thing is encourage healthy community with your kids. If they want to be involved in things and with friends that are going to be positive influences in their life, encourage those things. Participation in youth group, in worship on Sunday mornings, involvement in community groups where they're serving in the community or playing on sports teams. Those types of things are all things that you want to encourage as a parent, because the more avenues that you can open the door for healthy community, the more avenue you also have for them to build healthier friendships with other kids, which leads into the last tip I have for you. Encourage your kids to have a wide net of friends. To not isolate to a couple of kids. There's always going to be those instances where you've got friends who are closer than your wider circle of friends. That's never going to change. That's a reality. That's actually very healthy. But to narrow our friendships to a limited number as opposed to having a wide net of friends can sometimes cause us to be isolated, and especially with teenagers, sometimes they learn from the ignorance of their friends. And so we want to encourage kids to have a wider net of friends, to be able to have different types of relationships, different types of friendships, so that they can have some balance in their life. Hopefully these are good tips for you as you encourage your kids in this coming school year, as they go up a grade, as they meet new friends, possibly going into new schools. This is going to be a very important thing for us as parents this year. So hopefully that's helpful, and we'll see you next month with another monthly parenting tip video.